Today we're being joined by Carlton VFLW player Maddie Di Cosmo. Maddie, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit about yourself, what type of player you are, and what got you into footy.
Yeah, well, I started playing footy when I was 11. I kind of just got into it. My two brothers were playing, and I spent the Sunday down at the local club. And my auntie was actually like, because I wanted a jumper, and my auntie's like, I can only give you a jumper kind of thing if you play with your name on the back. So I started playing, and at the time there was only maybe one team, so it was under 12s. So that's where I started playing my juniors at Balleen Templestowe, the YGFL league. And then kind of worked my way to, at the time it was called TAC Cup, but through Eastern Rangers program. And yeah, my draft year was 2020, which was COVID, which was a bit of a bummer. And then kind of after that, when I went back, because it was under 19s, then it just didn't feel like right. I don't know, just wasn't clicking. So I ended up going back and finding another local club, which I played a year at Marsland, who were in the Premier kind of division in the VAFA. Yeah, so I played a year with them. We went undefeated, which was great. And then I got a call from the VFLW Carlton head coach, Tom Stafford, at the time. Come down and do pre-season with them, which I went down a little bit nervous because I've never been, like, obviously I did TAC Cup, but or like NAB League, but like bigger bodies and like more grown kind of women. I was a bit nervous, but I had a really good pre-season with them and ended up getting a contract to play. And yeah, so I've been there for 2 years now.
So that moment you said how nervous I was joining the Blues VFLW side, how was that period overall for you? Obviously, you mentioned getting the call and that, but how was that time for you? Was it a no-brainer to join them, or was the nerves kind of getting to you as well? How was that time for you?
I think it was a no-brainer. I've always been like motivated with my footy, and I love my footy. I think taking that little bit of time off and going back to local, I found my love again for the game, and just started playing. All I wanted to do and still want to do is get drafted. So going there was definitely a no-brainer. And I was lucky on the day when I rocked up, there was another girl doing her first session as well, who I knew from my local club as well. And we were just like, oh my God, like, thank God you're here kind of thing. And we got through pre-season together. We like really motivated each other and like pushed each other, which was really good. Yeah. And it made me feel a lot more comfortable that I had someone there that I kind of knew.
Now, this year's been a terrific year for you individually, winning the Carlton VFLW 2023 Best and Fairest after placing third in the previous season. Obviously, in this season, you averaged 22 disposals and 8 tackles. I know you might not want to pump yourself up, but how was that year for you? And obviously, a pretty good year, but how was the year overall?
Yeah, I think coming off last season, I knew I still had a lot of work to do to get fitter and work on my game to like match other players in the midfield in all the teams in the VFL. So I put together a really solid like pre-season before even coming back, and then came back to Carlton, started my pre-season and worked hard off the summer and got a lot fitter. I also try to develop my game in the midfield. I mean, like playing local midfield to VFLW midfield's a big jump. So really working on my craft and working closely with my like little mids team, who I think we really gelled well, which helped a lot on the field as well. We all know how each other played, and we all knew like expectations of each other, which I think really helped us out there. So yeah, I think kind of honing in on my craft and getting fitter has really helped me put together a really good season this year. And also having a lot more confidence, being my second year and second time with the playing group. You kind of know how everyone plays in the whole team, and you get a lot of confidence behind you in doing that. So yeah, I felt a lot more confident this year going into it.
Yeah, obviously you had a terrific season and winning the Carlton VFLW Best of Best, which clearly got noticed by the AFLW side of Carlton being a train-on player. How was that time for you to be a train-on player with the Blues? And that step closer?
Yeah, so this was my second time being trained on at Carlton, and both times have been like amazing. It's really great to go in and be trained on and just see the kind of the elite like standards and how it is another step up again from a VFL. You see kind of what is expected, how much time and like how much time the players put in to the club and themselves, and how they take care of their bodies is like something that I really took away. and how they really, like, when they train, they have really high standards of themselves and others, which I think has also helped me with my game this year and will continue to help me to really push myself and be motivated, because, you know, there's always that next step you got to keep hitting. You've never reached like kind of the top. So I think that's helped me with like self-motivation kind of thing.
So how's that time been for you training with them? Obviously, the standards will be different in terms of the quality and the level of the game, obviously being a step up from VFLW. But who's some players too that you've kind of gelled with and they've, you know, taken you under their wing, I suppose?
Yeah, I've had a couple chats with Abby McKay. Obviously,
I
she's
know.
had a couple breakout seasons, and just had a couple chats around how she's dealt with, you know, like what she kind of did to get herself into that position to have those breakout seasons, and kind of relating that back to myself and how I can use her kind of experience with myself, and how I can use that to kind of get drafted, and how I can improve my game. I think, yeah, they're all super, super motivating as well and encouraging. They always tell you, hit the kick, like we know you can hit it, kick it. So I think that also gave me a lot of confidence in my game working with them. But yeah, just seeing how, you know, how they really, really take care of themselves, and they really put 110% in everything they do. Not always on the field, but also off the field. They do a lot.
That's good. It's good to have that connection too, not just on the field, because, you know, it's obviously really good there, but shows they care and, you know, want to help you get to where you want to get, and, you know, help around it. And with that as well, is there been any pre-draft journey experiences they've kind of given you to kind of handle this? People, like you said, you've been in this position before about being in the draft when it was the COVID affected years. Have they given you any advice, or you've been pretty cruisy throughout this period because of the experience?
Yeah, a couple, like a lot of people, pretty much everyone says it's just hard work. You know, you can't mistake hard work, and it's just getting it done and making sure you're pushing yourself. That's kind of what everyone does say. But also, I got a bit of advice about like fake it till you make it. Like, even if you go somewhere and you're not feeling as confident, just like on the field, like just go for the kick, just fake it till you make it, because then that builds your own confidence around your game, and it kind of shows people like what you have. So that's another like a little bit of advice I've got from one of the girls there.
So obviously at the training, obviously you've been there enough to know how they train individually, but how's it been? I'm assuming you've been to some of the games where they've been playing as other AFLW oppositions. How's that been to be able to go watch a game, to not only see how your train on teammates go, but also to see how the opposition go about it, so you get a bit of a different experience of not just Carlton, but seeing the other oppositions play as well?
Yeah, it's been great. We go, when I say we, that me and the other train-ons and some of the players that aren't playing, we kind of sit together, and it's a lot different than just watching the game. We sit there and we're like, oh, this person's doing that. Like, you can pick out kind of the things that you do at training and you see in the reviews and in the team meetings. So yeah, that's brought another side to it, and that's also helped my game by like, I'm a very visual learner. So like seeing it on the field, seeing it happening in like real time really helps me understand the different roles and stuff like that. And it's also great to see how much connection the group has when everyone knows what each other's roles are, and you can even just pick it from sitting in the stands and looking, and you can see what the person's doing, which is pretty cool.
Exactly, like you said, being there, you can also hear a lot more things than what you can on the TV as well, and you can see obviously a whole ground, so you can kind of see how people are matching up, leading, and everything like that. So it's obviously good to go see in person as well. So, have you nominated for the national draft, or have you gone for a certain state?
I've nominated for the national draft, yes. Any opportunity to play at any club would be like a dream come true for me. So yeah.
So who did you go out barracking for?
I'm a Richmond supporter. Yeah.
So how was that time heading into playing for Carlton? Was there any other clubs that you were looking at going at or had some interest from at that time to the VFLW side of things?
Yeah, I went to a North Melbourne Talent ID Day. So I did a couple and I got past that. So I was doing some sessions with them. And then, I got the call from staff to go down to Carlton. So yeah, I ended up making the move to Carlton.
That's good. So in the draft process, have you had any meetings with clubs? And if you have, how's that time been for you as well?
I haven't heard too much at the moment. I am meeting up with my manager in the coming days to kind of discuss everything that's
Yeah,
been going on. So yeah, I haven't.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
What's the best individual game? Obviously, you had a terrific season this year, winning the VFLW Best and Fairest at Carlton, but and making the VFLW Team of the Year, might I add too. So, what's been some games in particular that have standed you out to hope you get the hope for you to get drafted? What games do you think are your games that could just of other clubs?
Just off the top of my head, maybe. I think I had a pretty good game against this year against was one of my favorite games to play against North Melbourne, the VFLW. I feel like as a team that was when we really clicked into play, and the way we were playing really helped me play to my strengths. Kind of winning the hard ball, also run on the outside, and working back defensively. I think, yeah, and doing some change to the middle of the ground, I think worked really well for me.
Is it
Like it helped me to my strengths, play to my strengths.
any particular nickname you get given that you like or dislike?
Yeah, my nickname is Cozzy. So every time
Okay.
I'm at footy, my nickname's Cozzy. No one really goes by Maddie, which is weird
Okay.
because then when you have friends that from footy and outside of footy
Yeah,
meet, one's
different.
Maddie, and one's Cozzy, and it's
Yeah.
it's weird, but yeah,
I know that same feeling. You go to say work and you get your real name, and then you go to
yeah,
one sporting club. It's a nickname, like you said, Cozzy, and
yeah,
then one place might call you Mads. You just get all mixed answers
exactly.
depending on where you are, really.
Yeah, and it's weird because when I'm at footy, if someone says Cozzy, I automatically know they're talking to me. And then when I'm out of footy, if someone says Maddie, yeah, I know what they're talking to me. So.
Do you keep in contact still with some of the AFLW players at Carlton or anywhere else, and they're giving you any advice in this period as well?
Not at the moment. I haven't, but I've had like really good chats with them, kind of in the train on in the season, which
Yeah.
has really helped me. But I do speak a lot to my VFLW teammates, and
Yeah.
yeah, we talk a lot. We always like get each other's opinions on things, and we're always super motivating. Like someone does a run and it's posted on Strava, we're liking it. We're like all this kind of stuff. But yeah.
Is there any VFLW teammates that love the limelight, the attention, the camera, and they can just not get enough of it, and they know when it's been filmed these days too, getting streamed and that as well? When they kick a goal or they do a certain mark or run down tackle, and they know to over exaggerate the celebration, no matter how good it is.
Yeah, maybe Christina Bernardi is a good goal celebrator, but her goals are pretty good, so she's warranted to have that celebration.
Yeah,
And also Izzy Curie is a great goal celebrator. She's a bull at the ball, and if she gets onto a goal, she goes off.
any coach's pet at the Blues VFLW side?
Coach's pet. Maybe. Oh, it's gonna be bad to say, but maybe Millie Klingville. She's been there for a while, but she's just the most wholesome person that everyone loves her, and I think that reflects with the coaches as well. They love her.
That's good. Ease the pain out by giving a pump up as well. That's
Yeah,
very smart.
no, she's an
Very
amazing
smart.
person and such a hard worker, so she deserves the acknowledgement.
Yeah. Any outside of footy interest you have?
I'm starting to be a teacher, so I've just done my kind of placement there. So I love working with kids, and then I also love to cook and paint pictures. Even though I'm not a good artist at all, but I just find it fun to sit down and try to paint.
You mentioned cooking there. So any signature dishes, as they would say, as Gordon Ramsay would say?
I am Italian, so I do like to cook up pasta. I like gnocchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, gnocchi with just tomato or like Napoli sauce. Pretty simple.
That's good. Well, sometimes that's the best way. So you don't want to overdo it and try and do something fancy that you're not confident on, and then butcher it up completely.
Exactly.
So, who would you say is the player that goes under the radar, either at Carlton VFLW side or even in the AFLW side, that doesn't get talked about as much, that should get a bit more attention, that doesn't?
It's a hard one. Maybe if from my Carlton VFLW, I'm gonna go with Brianna Gurr. She's just a little agile halfback, She reads the ball so well. She sets up so many great plays where she switches it, and she's also such a leader back there. She's just a communicator. She's always talking. She's always pointing, which the stats obviously don't always they don't show that, but just what it does for our team and our attack on the ball is just super helpful.
What's the best goal you've ever kicked on individually?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think one time in juniors, I just got I don't even know how it happened. They kicked it out. The other team kicked it out from a point, and it's gone near the boundary line, and I've just grabbed it and kicked it, not even trying to go for the goal. The ball didn't even spin right, but it's just gone up in the air and somehow floated through. And I was just lying on the ground, and everyone got around me. But yeah, it wasn't even intended to be a goal, but that's one that I can kind of remember.
That's good. No matter how they're kicked, they're kicked. That's
exactly.
Now, it kind of relates to this. So, mark or goal of the year, which one would you rather do or take?
I'm going to say mark of the year. I reckon that's better. I can't see myself taking a specky anytime soon, but I feel like just the skill with running and jumping and getting on someone's shoulders is just crazy. And then sticking the mark as well. I reckon that's better than a goal sometimes.
Yeah, they're both good. Either one, especially on a highlights reel, it'd be nice to replay. Who would be someone too? You mentioned about the limelight before. Who would be someone that would do one of those things that are very good, and who would replay it over and over and over again, and it would even post it on their own pages?
For my team, VFLW.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Christina Bernardi. I reckon she's almost gone onto a couple hangers this season, and I feel like she would definitely put a little post on Instagram if it happened. Yeah.
If you could poach any player or players from another club, who would you want? So let's hypothetically say a Carlton. So who would you want to poach for Carlton to join them?
From the VFL.
Either or, yeah.
Yeah. I think. That's a tough one.
Maybe someone you've had to match up on that's probably been one of your toughest opponents as well, I guess.
Yeah.
I've
matched up. Someone I would poach for the midfield would be Dom Carboni from Doggies VFLW. I played a kind of all-star game. It's called all-star game with her. So we're kind of friends, but she's just her attack on the footy is amazing, and just her footy smarts and know-how, I think would be great to play with.
Yeah. That's who do you feel wins the AFLW best and fairest for the competition alone? Because obviously you've got so many good names. She's been so even. You've got Garner, Riddell, both the Sparkers, just Laura Garner, Charlie Rowbottom. Who you got in that category?
I definitely think Jazz Garner is going to take it out. She's just she's someone I try to model my game on. She's physical and wins the ball, but she's also got a lot of run and carry, and she can hit the scoreboard, which shows. And she's just got a massive tank on her. She just runs all day. But someone also that I would like to see is Monconti. Obviously, I'm a Richmond supporter, but just her skills with the game is just next level.
Yeah, it should definitely be up there as well, Monconti for sure. What's something someone does at the club that you just cannot stand, whether it's jumping out of a bin or trying to scare people, leaving food or wrappers around? Is there anything in particular that annoys you?
Trying to think. It doesn't annoy me, but one thing to point out is one of my teammates, Octavia Di Donato, always has, no matter what time it is, she has a big serve of pasta before the game. We have a microwave in our change room, so sometimes if you get there early enough, you'll see her just sitting there with her container full of pasta at 9:30 in the morning. And I'm just like, how can you eat that? But that's something that she does.
That's actually very interesting, especially with the time that you mentioned that you're playing at. But then I guess being different is sometimes a good thing as well. A few more questions. Appreciate coming on, Maddie. Rising star tip for the AFLW this year, because obviously there's a few contenders. You've got Ali Morfitt, you've got Zali Goldsworthy, Ella Roberts, Jazz Fleming. There's others as well. Who would you have in that category?
I think Ali Morfitt's had a breakout season. She's been amazing. Potentially her. Otherwise, maybe even from Carlton, Mia Austin. She's just an athlete. And just the way, if you're at training, just the way she glides along the field, and she has an amazing leap on her, and it takes anything. So between those two, I reckon,
So they just released I don't know if you've seen it, the under 22, best 22 fan voters. So sometimes can be a bit biased because some people just vote for their own friends. But Mia Austin did get in there. So obviously you'd be happy for her to get in there.
Yeah, exactly. She works so hard, especially she was coming back from her injury, and to have the season she had. It's like kudos to her. It's amazing.
Sure. Now, if you could approach a player for an AFLW or for Carlton's AFLW team from another AFLW club, who would you like to steal from that club?
Who would we take? That's a tricky one. Maybe Maloney up forward from Geelong. I feel like having a big
Irish girl,
yeah, the Irish girl, down maybe forward. I was watching the game on the weekend, and I've been watching a couple of the Geelong games, and she's just the way she's taken the game on. I think she was only in the country for a little bit before she even started playing. Like she just takes everything, and she has a great kick. So maybe a target.
Yeah, she was good on the weekend, and being in the game as well, noticing that. And she's probably been really strong actually the back half of this season in particular as well. And that's key reason why they've gotten Geelong to the preliminary final stage. One more question for you coming on, Maddie. Premiership tip, if 4 teams remain, who you got?
It's hard to go past like Brisbane and Adelaide, but I probably will be cheering for North Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah. Good choice. Sorry?
I do hope they get some success, yeah.
That'd be good. Now, speaking to some players, I'm not going to name them for obvious reasons, but I feel the sense with a lot of players now that they're sick and tired of seeing Melbourne and Brisbane and Adelaide always being the teams that make the granny. So if that's the case, hopefully North can get the win because they're the only one of and Geelong, I suppose, but North being the newer one, the outside of those main groups, that'd be nice to see North to get the win. So, Maddie, appreciate you coming on. All the best. Hopefully. Nice. Have a good one.
Thank you.